Hi guys! So today I want to talk to you guys about how to build a wedding timeline with your bride and groom. So let's just kind of start with when you actually start talking to them about the timeline. I think you should start talking to them about it right away. A lot of wedding photographers probably start talking to them right after they book. But what I've been actually doing was actually kind of building it to my consultations, and that's kind of really helped me a lot. Originally, I actually had talked to them about 3 months before their wedding regarding the wedding timeline, but I was still feeling like, a lot of my bride and grooms were not, giving me the complete time that I need for certain things like getting ready photos. It takes a lot of time for the bride to get in her dress, and they don't believe me when I tell them it takes a lot of time. So I just thought for me, it would just be better just to kind of, build it into my consultation so they already have the timeline. It actually works really well in my favor as well, because what other wedding photographer is going to talk to them about, their complete day from beginning to end. After the consultation, I email them the timeline and I say, this could change, but this gives you a really good idea of, how to, work out your timeline with your DJ and your coordinator and your venue and things like that. So that way they don't have to think about it. I'm trying to make it as easy for my client as possible, and I think that really helps with that. So let's talk a little bit about the timeline and about what I require to kind of get the best photos for their day. First off, I always build it backwards from the ceremony time. So you want to ask them what time their ceremony is. I always build the timeline as an 8-hour timeline. I always assume that they're going to book 8 hours, even if they don't book 8 hours. And here's the reason why. First off, sometimes people think that 6 hours is enough, but it really isn't. So if I show them an 8-hour timeline, they can see there's not much room or much leeway to kind of take anything out. So there's a really good chance that they're going to go with an 8-hour package because of that fact. Also, you always want to go to your consultations kind of assuming they're going to book the biggest package. Not really because you want to pull wool over their eyes or anything like that. I just think that it gives an extra boost of confidence when you go into a session thinking that they're going to book the highest package. You're not assuming that they don't have the budget to get a little bit more or get a little bit more value in their photography. So I always build my timeline via as if they're going to book an 8-hour package. So let's say that they say their ceremony time is at 5:30. So I'm going to always build my timeline backwards from the ceremony, okay? So I always want to give my bride and groom sort of a rest time right before the ceremony. So about 30-minute rest time. So that would be giving them, that would give them a rest time of 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock to 5:30, they have rest time. I always want to do pictures before the ceremony. So I will allow by basically about 30 minutes to an hour before the ceremony to do pictures. And I always add a first look in there. And I always assume they're going to do a first look because I want them to do a first look. If I build the first look in there and they decide they don't want to do the first look, they can always take it out. But at least if I build it in, they can see kind of like the way the timeline would go and how it would flow. And that would eliminate any anxiety they might have about doing the first look beforehand. I always want to allow an hour for the bride to get in her dress. And then before that, 30 minutes for me to do detail shots. So that 30 minutes of me doing detail shots is when I'm going to arrive. So there already, I already have a set amount of time for the beginning of the day. So after the ceremony, I want to do 30 minutes of family photos. It could be less. 30 minutes seems like a good amount of time for them to gather people and to get people in and out of family photos. And then at the end, since we did the majority of the photos ahead of time, then we're going to do about 30 minutes to 45 minutes of extra bridal party shots to kind of just finish off the day. Okay, so then they'll be announced. I give them 30 minutes for dinner and then 30 minutes to mingle. Okay, and then right after that, then you want to go into toast. And always allow 30 minutes for toast just in case some people kind of go over. Hopefully they don't, but if they do, at least then you'll have a leeway. And then right after toast, so you do first dance, formal dances like father-daughter, mother-son, okay, and then cake cutting. And then right after cake cutting, I always request the DJ to go right into garden and bouquet. And that way they can do open dancing, or if they have anything extra, like for instance, some weddings they do the money dance or something like that. That way they can put the money dance right before open dancing, and then I'll still be there for the whole time frame. Okay, so the other question you probably will have is, what if they don't want to do a first look? Well, that's totally fine. Take the first look out of the equation and then add the time at the back of the ceremony time. Obviously, you have to let them know that it's gonna basically have the guests waiting a little bit longer because we're trying to catch up on trying some bridal party portraits and bride and groom portraits. And bride and groom portraits are the most important things, and sometimes that's the time that we usually run out of because they don't want to do the first look, right? But I always still request that we do bridesmaids and groomsmen pictures before their ceremony. It doesn't matter. I still want them to do that before the ceremony because if I don't have enough time after the ceremony, say the ceremony runs a little bit over, or we ran a little bit late going to the ceremony, or however, at least I can cut some of the bridal party stuff short because I did most of it at the beginning and do more bride and groom portraits. Because the bride and groom portraits I feel like are the most important thing. It's their day. They want that big canvas to hang in their home. Okay? So those are just some tips and tricks that you can use to kind of build your timeline with your bride and groom. If you have any questions, you're welcome to message me. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Talk to you next time. Bye!